Hello, everybody here? Everybody here but us chickens? What about you guys at the back? Okay, good. Aye. Perfect. All right, good. I'm so happy to see everybody here tonight. We want to thank everyone for coming and supporting us in this first inaugural community event in Comitan. My name is Irene Phillips, if you don't know me, but I think probably most people do. I'm not going to take much time tonight, but I wanted to take a little bit of time to share some plans that we have with Amigos de Cuatro Patas. Tonight, I just wanted to give you, and there's a lot of new faces. We have a lot of new people, both in Centenario and Comitan, so I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what we do. We started our adoption program back in 2017 when we got our official legal Mexican AC or nonprofit. Since then, I want to read a couple of numbers here. Since then, we've rescued over 800 dogs. Not a good number. 800 dogs out of La Paz, off the streets of La Paz. We've gotten more than 630 of those dogs adopted, both here and in the US and Canada. Awesome. We've also distributed more than 750 pounds of dog food and over a ton of puppy food in that 5-year time. That's not counting the food that we distributed during COVID here in the Centenario community. So we've done a lot of dog food, let me tell you. Our adoption system has capacity for 60 dogs. Now, some of those are ready for adoption and some are still waiting for adoption. But 60 dogs is kind of our limit. But the only limit that it brings is, the reason for the limit is for the number of donations and the number of volunteers. If we had more donations and we had more volunteers, we could do more dogs. So, the COVID lockdown, I'm going to give you some numbers just to share. It kind of gives you an idea. When we first started the COVID lockdown, it was estimated to have 15,000 stray dogs in La Paz. That sounds like a big number, right? Today, it's estimated at 50,000 dogs stray. That's 50. It's amazing. So when you, and all you have to do is look at social media, Facebook, whatever, and you'll see a number of people who are there trying to get their puppies adopted. They're putting them out there, and there's puppies that they've rescued or there's puppies that they've spawned in their own yard. We believe that spay and neuter for a family pets is only going to go so far. Also, rescuing is only going to go so far. So those people who can benefit from spay and neuter programs are the ones that can't afford to have their dogs sterilized themselves. Now, most of us who have been here for a while don't see that as a problem that can be solved with just rescuing or spay and neuter. It has to be a problem that's solved with education. So tonight, our goal at Amigos de Cuatro Patas is to deal with, to be a voice for animal abuse and animal cruelty. We are working with both the state and the municipal governments to try to come up with better legislation, more enforceable legislation, and also to get that message out to the community more often and sustainable. We have some of our four-legged ambassadors here tonight that you may have noticed. All of these puppies have been subject to animal abuse or animal cruelty in one way or another. So I'm going to introduce them. They're here with their rescuers tonight. First one is Blackie. Does anybody recognize Blackie? Hey, Blackie! Blackie was a fixture in the Estorito area in La Paz. He walked the streets with his pack of 7 or 8 dogs with his owner, Don Abram. Now, Don Abram died of COVID about a year ago. So we took him in to find a foster.
How old is he?
He's about 10. He's about 10. And he's beautiful. Look at him. He's just a big lug. He's just a big lug. So Blackie was a victim of animal abuse. His owner basically beat him with a stick until he injured his leg, and it can't be repaired anymore. We have Brave. Has everyone seen Brave in her wheels? Isn't she adorable? Brave was abandoned when she was a puppy, probably only 3 or 4 weeks old. Her and her sister were abandoned to the streets, and she was attacked by a bigger dog who injured her spine and rendered her back legs inoperable. But you know what? She doesn't know the difference. She thinks she's just a puppy like everybody else. She's very sociable, and she loves to have fun, and she's just a great dog. And now that she's got her wheels, she's just, away she goes. You can't stop her. Brave is about a year and a half, about 18 months. She's just a puppy. Then we have Misty. Misty was a victim of cruelty. Oh, Misty. That's okay. You can bring Tutty out too. Misty was a victim of cruelty and abandonment when she was left tied to a tree by the neck, choking. She was screaming. And she had just had puppies. She was still lactating when Ken and Charlene found her. She's the one that squawks. She's a squawker. But so they brought her in, got her settled down, but at the end of the day, she left. She escaped. She went to find her puppies. So after a week without their mama, she managed to find one still alive, and that's Tutty. Tutty. Her name is Tutty-Fortuna, because she's such a little sweetheart. The next one is Roma. Now, Roma is adorable. And her story is not much different than most puppies who are born to a female that belong to irresponsible owners. So Professor Latras and his wife, Brianna, rescued her along with her 9 siblings. So Professor Latras is going to tell her story. Roberto? Does he want to say the story? He's going to speak it in Spanish, but we'll do a translation.
Es un placer enorme el poder estar hoy con todos ustedes y con mi inmensa alegría presentarles junto con mi esposa a esta belleza de la naturaleza. Su nombre es Roma y es una de 12 cachorros que tuvieron la mala fortuna de nacer en la calle. Para que conozcan un poco más de los orígenes de Roma, debo platicarles que Camila es una perra cruza de pastor alemán que llegó y adoptó el fraccionamiento donde vivimos como su hogar. Si bien calculé en su momento, Camila apareció un día con unos cuantos meses de nacida y ella, al igual que otros 15 o 20 perros, decidieron quedarse en Baja California. Camila junto con Güero, perro de la tercera edad, se posesionaron de 6 casas, es decir, las marcaron y cuidan como su territorio. Al paso de los meses, Camila entró en celo y parió 11 cachorros, de los cuales, según conocimos, acabaron en la calle los que sobrevivieron, porque la gran mayoría murieron. Conociendo de la situación, buscamos, mi esposa y yo, evitar que Camila volviera a gestar, pero lamentablemente esto fue en vano, porque tras de regresar de vacaciones nos recibió con la noticia de que otra vez estaba en celo. Intentamos a toda costa que los perros del fraccionamiento la montaran. Algunos vecinos la encerraron en sus casas. En nuestro caso la subimos a la azotea durante 3 semanas, pero esto fue tarde. ya que Camila durante el tiempo que no la vimos, sí fue montada. Cabe aclarar que Camila aparentemente sí tiene dueño, razón por la cual ni mi esposa ni otros vecinos la llevamos para que fuera esterilizada, trate de problemas con sus dueños. Transcurridos los meses, la noche del 5 de marzo, por cierto un día muy frío, Camila decidió tomar la cochera de nuestra casa como el sitio seguro donde pariría sus 12 cachorros. Así fue que durante toda la madrugada estuvo en trabajo de parto pariendo un total de 12 cachorros. Cabe resaltar que por esos días las temperaturas llegaron a ser muy bajas, razón por la cual decidimos mi esposa y yo acondicionarles el lugar para que no padecieran las extremas inclemencias del tiempo, al mismo tiempo que comenzamos a velar por el confort de Camila y su camada. Bien, y es de dicha camada donde Roma apareció. No podemos precisar en qué momento o lugar de la camada nació Roma. Lo que sí podemos mencionar es que Roma siempre fue de los cachorros más pequeños y por los que fue uno de los que menos se nutrían y menos fuerza ganaban. Un día notamos al alimentar a Camila que Roma no apoyaba bien su pata izquierda y al llevarla a consulta con la doctora Rebeca, tras ser auscultada, se determinó una atención especial, la cual comprendía medicación, dieta y estudios radiológicos en los que se le diagnosticó una fractura, la cual, por intervención y cuidado oportuno, logró sanar. Ahora continúa Roma con tratamiento para fortalecer aún más sus articulaciones. Y gracias a los cuidados y amable atención de amigos de Cuatro Patas, Roma tendrá una vida llena de amor, atención y consideración. Será Roma miembro de una familia como lo es ahora de la gran familia de amigos de Cuatro Patas. Por último, a nombre de Roma, Camila, Paris, Fiona, Victoria, Romeo, Vulcano, Frank, Rolo, Coltan, Debriana, mi esposa y mío, agradecemos a todos y cada uno de los que con su esfuerzo, compromiso y amor hacen que Amigos de Cuatro Patas siga luchando por cambiar la lamentable realidad de muchos amigos de Cuatro Patas en nuestra ciudad. Nuevamente, gracias.
How many understood all that? Hey, very good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, for the rest of you, I'm going to read a short story, okay? And this is in Roberta's words. It is a great pleasure to be with you today. It's a joy that we get to introduce this beauty of nature. Her name is Roma. She is one of 12 puppies that had the misfortune of being born on the street. If you want to know more about Roma, you need to know more about her mother, Camila. Camila is a German Shepherd mix that adopted our subdivision as her home. She was only a few months old when she came to Baja California. Camila came into her first heat and gave birth to 11 puppies, most of which died, but those who survived ended up on the street as well. You should know that Camila had an owner who took no responsibility for her and did nothing to have her spayed. Therefore, to avoid the problem with the owners, neither my wife nor the neighbors took her to be sterilized. When Camila went into her second heat, my wife and the neighbors tried to prevent Camila from getting pregnant again, but it was too late. On the night of March 5th, Camila decided that our garage in our house was a safe place where she could give birth to her 12 puppies. Since the weather was cold, my wife and I prepared a place to keep them warm and where we could watch over them. Roma was one of 12 puppies born that day, but she was one of the smallest, the one who didn't get enough milk and therefore didn't gain enough strength. One day we noticed that Roma could not put any weight on her left leg. Dr. Rebecca checked her and established a special protocol for her that included medication and a special diet. X-rays were taken and showed that she had a fracture, which, due to good intervention and timely care, managed to heal on its own. Roma continues with treatment to further strengthen her joints. Thanks to the care and attention of Amigos de Cuatro Patas, Roma will have a full life full of love, attention, and consideration. Roma will be adopted into a family, as she is now a member of the great family of Amigos de Cuatro Patas. Finally, on behalf of Roma, Camila, Paris, Fiona, Victoria, Romeo, Volcano, Frank, Rollo, Colton, and my wife Brianna and myself, we thank each of you. Thanks to those who put your effort, commitment, and love to help Amigos de Cuatro Patas to keep fighting to change the unfortunate reality that many of our 4 friends in the city are suffering from. Thank you again. Great story. So these are living, breathing victims of abuse and cruelty. There are many more dogs living in the city that suffer this abuse every day. It's not something that's going to change by rescuing or by sterilizing family pets. The change needs to start with the children. It needs to start with education. Education is going to be key to changing our culture around animal abuse. We have chosen this event to launch our new program called Responsible Pet Ownership, which will be presented in schools as early as this fall. We have a pilot program that started with Professor Latras and his wife Brianna. We will be presenting in their school to, get this, 90 children, that's a 90, oh my God, between 6 and 11 years old. Okay, so anybody who wants to help, please come and help, okay? So, and we're doing this in July. Now there will be a puppet show, and we will have some of our ambassadors there also.
He's inviting us for an event on Tuesday.
Oh my goodness.
Volunteers.
Okay, well, breaking news, everyone. We're having something going on Tuesday next week. Okay, so we could use some volunteers. Anybody who loves to work with children, if you've had any experience in developing curriculum, if you're a teacher, if you just love children, that will be qualifications enough. All the proceeds of today's event will go towards building our curriculum and buying supplies for this program. Like I say, it takes a village. And of course, we can't do this without donors. Right? Events like this are great. Thank you all for coming to help and support us in this. But what we really need are monthly donors. Now, we have about 100 people here tonight. Imagine that. Isn't this the middle of summer and didn't everybody supposedly go home? Right? We have 100 people here tonight. So imagine if only 50 people chose to support us with a $20 a month donation. It would raise $1,000 a month, and that would go a long way to us to be able to sustain this type of program. We're all part of this community, and getting 100 people here in the middle of summer is testament to the fact that you're making this community your home. Thank you. If we can all work together, make this a home that we're all proud of. Thank you so much for listening to our story. Now enjoy your evening. We'll be back after the next set to do some thank yous. Thank you. And before I forget, we have a raffle. We're raffling off a basket with some of this lovely mezcal and a couple of cute glasses and a couple of bags of Taste of the Wild dog food. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, they're 50 pesos a ticket. Come on down and get your ticket. Thank you, everyone. Have a good time.
Irene.
Thank you, Irene. That was wonderful. You guys, thank you for coming to the first event in this new